Hello everyone, today I'm going to talk about orbiting diplomacy, how space stations reflect in changing international relations. I will present this in three parts. The first part is Cold War legacies to institutional cooperation. From the Cold War era to the post-Cold War era, the attitudes of different countries to space have changed from confrontation to cooperation. Take those two important powers during the Cold War as an example, the United States and the Soviet Union. In 1971, the Soviet Union launched the first space station, Soyuz-1, and achieved the first long-term human presence in space. And in 1973, the United States launched Skylab using the remaining rocket from the Apollo program to prove the possibility of long-term life in space. And in 1984, Reagan announced the launch of the space station Freedom with the intention of uniting Western allies to fight against the Soviet Union, but it stalled because of some complex reasons. And in 1991, after the collapse of Soviet Union, Russia inherited the space legacy but fell into an economic crisis, and urgently need to exchange funds through the technology exports. And in 1993, the Clinton administration transferred the Freedom program into an international cooperation project, inviting Russia, Japan, Canada, and the European Space Agency to join, and renamed it as the International Space Station. And we can see that although Soyuz-1 and the Skylab were the product of great power competition during the Cold War, they still represent a significant step forward for human beings in space exploration. And as an important symbol of international cooperation after the end of the Cold War, the international space is promoted by six major international space agencies. And now we move into the next part, the multipolar space era. With the emergence of the multipolar world, many countries have participated in the space work. For example, the rise of China, the Tiangong space station, also known as the Chinese space station. It is one of two space stations currently in orbit and is the third large-scale in-orbit space stations now. And also the rise of emerging countries like India, UAE, Brazil, South Korea, Argentina, Turkey. And also some private enterprises are investing in space, like SpaceX and Blue Origin. Although Russia was subject to U.S. technical sanctions after the Crimea crisis and the outbreak of Russia-Ukraine war, the operation and cooperation of the International Space Station were not greatly affected. What we really need to worry about now is the aging of equipment on the International Space Station. The International Space Station has been operating for more than 25 years and is experiencing air leaks that numerous fixes have been completely solved. So what are we going to do in the future? Let's move to the last part. Future challenges and cooperation. The challenges we face in space now are regulatory fragmentation, technological gaps, resource competition. All I want to say is space station is a preview of extraterrestrial governments and needs to address the issues of lawmaking and power distribution. The existing international conventions and the regulations concerning outer space are the Outer Space Treaty and the Rescue Agreement. And I think we need to cooperate in those areas in the future. Technology sharing, data openness, unified regulatory negotiation, North-South capacity building. The North-South means developed country and the developing country should cooperate in a certain way. So this is my presentations. Thank you.